Hello, friends. On this glorious day in drink history, we catch up with an old friend, Matteo Luxardo from Luxardo, as well as his brand ambassador from London, Mr. G, to catch up on all the whimsical developments happening in the world of Luxardo. Word on the street is that a short film is being made about Luxardo cherries right now and is scheduled to be released in the spring. What? That sounds awesome. Can't wait for that. Until then, enjoy a little inspired conversation with a couple of very inspired gentlemen. Let's do this. This episode of the Educational Drinking Show is sponsored by Junipero Gin, which is the original American craft gin going back to 1996 and the pioneering work of Fritz Maytag, which also makes it the gin of San Francisco. At 98.6 proof, it's a bit stronger than most gins and perfect in your favorite gin cocktail. Good stuff. And now it is my great pleasure to share with you my interview with Mr. G and Matteo Luxardo from Luxardo. And this year you're rolling with a posse. Who's your friend here?
We got Garrett Franklin, our Mr. G. It's our global brand ambassador.
G is fine.
G is fine.
And you're based in London?
Yeah.
So now you guys are on the road together, just...
Yeah, so I'm based in London, but I live on a plane and travel around the world. It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's fun because he came to us, to myself and my cousin that follow me the export market, and he looked at us and said, how can you do this live?
And how many tails have you been to?
So this is my second one.
The second one?
Yeah. So
when
I'm
was your
still a
first?
newbie. Last year.
Last year. And you came back?
Last year was
Yeah,
holiday.
it's great.
This year he has to do something.
Oh, here for the grind.
Yeah. Last year was...
More than the grind, the glory.
Yeah?
The grind and the glory.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. And it seems like it's a big time for Bitter Bianco right now.
Luckily, yes. Bitter Bianco is going great everywhere. He launched it in the UK for us. And we launched it in April here in the US. And it's having a good response by the trade.
Yeah? How are people using it?
But for the Negroni Bianco.
Yeah.
And I learned that a lot of people is using with some pink grapefruit juice.
Really?
And ice, which is refreshing and nice and.
I think one thing that I've noticed is across the world there's been sort of like this movement towards sort of like low ABV cocktails.
Yeah.
I think like 2 years ago everyone was like, oh my god, vermouth and sherry and stuff like this. But then I think now they're kind of they've still got that mentality, but they're going, hang on a sec, liqueurs come in like so many different flavors.
Yeah.
And obviously at the moment, like the in thing is bitter, So yeah, people are using it a lot of like aperitivo style serves, which is really good for like matching with food because it's low ABV. We do some really, really simple ones with like tonic water and rhubarb cordial, which is like super simple, but just delicious.
Rhubarb cordial.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, rhubarb is one of the main components in the Bitter Bianco.
Okay, so you're playing that up.
Yeah.
And how do you explain Bitter Bianco to someone that doesn't know what it is?
So it's your classic Italian bitter.
Yeah.
So it's in terms of like bitter, you've got like your amaros, and then you've got your aperitivos. Aperitivos are a lot more fruitier and a lot less herbal.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but we flipped it.
Yeah.
So what happened? We take the same herbs of the red bitter, and we make the infusion.
Yeah.
So we make a single infusion for each type of herbs, and it's how many? It's eight type of herbs.
Yeah.
And it takes like a month and a half for the alcohol to extrapolate all the flavors. Then we put everything together and we distill those infusions. At the end of the distillation, we put, of course, sugar and distilled water.
Yep.
And then we add a little bit of wormwood to give the bitterness.
Got it.
At the end of the.
Because obviously, when you're distilling something, you lose some of that bitterness. Obviously, we want it to be a bitter. It's Italian. So yeah, like obviously when you do the distillation, not only do you gain new flavors like this, like lemon zest finish and stuff like that, but you lose a little bit of the bitterness.
Got it.
So obviously it's important for us to have that, so we have to add it afterwards.
I think there's a pigeon in here.
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay. Ready?
What?
To roll?
What do you mean?
Like, we've been rolling, but like, I need to know, like, a yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Where we started.
Official start.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna do like a little.
No. So we've been rolling, right?
It's been recording.
Okay, I'll just edit it.
Okay. Cool.
Sweet.
All right, it's rolling.
Yeah.
Even better. So you get to the U.S. a lot.
So for me, I think next year we're going to start going a bit more. Like
Yeah.
the US is like, you know, it's
a large
the
place.
key place.
Yeah.
You know? So this year, I think because it's my first year as in the global role,
Got it.
these guys are kind of like, let's just send them everywhere, sort of thing. So you know, it's been like, you know, I've been everywhere from like the Ukraine to Spain to Canada. We've got Asia coming up. We've got like a Scandinavia tour and stuff
Whoa.
like that. So it's like, let's just flog him and see how he handles
You know,
it.
he did something stupid. He said, you know, I'm going to Vietnam on holiday.
Yeah.
And he wrote to my Vietnamese importer to see if where can I go and have a drink.
Yeah.
He had like 2 days of holiday, and then he had a lot of
Yeah.
so many seminars everywhere all around Vietnam.
Like I arrived and they were like, "Oh, did you get your itinerary?" And I was like, "No, I think I missed that memo." And then I picked it up and I was like, "Whoa, hang on a second." But you know, it's great fun. I love my job, so yeah, it's good.
No, so be careful next trip to the Philippines.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So everyone knows Luxardo from Maraschino and
Yeah.
the Bitter Bianco's making waves out there. But with your work globally, what excites you about working with so many different flavors and so many different colors?
Everything excites me, and you know, the thing that excites me the most, I think, is going to different cities around the world and sort of experiencing, because everyone's got different flavor palettes.
Yeah.
You know, so something that you want to push over here might be different in an Asian country. It might be different in the UK. You know what I mean? And so,
How does that apply to liqueurs? Have you seen?
yeah. Well, I think the easiest way of saying it would be like, you know, like 10 years ago, sort of, you know, bitter liqueurs was a very culturally Italian thing, and not many people would, you know, like that sort of thing. It's like the French and pasties. You know, it's a very cultural taste.
Yeah.
No one really drinks it apart from the French.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the same with, you know, Negronis and bitter style drinks, you know, sort of like 10 years ago. And then now, because we've got so many amazing Italian bartenders, they've sort of like traveled the world and made Negronis for everyone. And now we're like, wow, this is amazing, you know.
Well, I remember 19 years ago when I started working with the company, and I was, started to go in Asia and open the Asian markets. And I didn't know how to sell our products because the tastes were very different.
Yeah.
So the best thing was going to local restaurants, have local food, and really understand which was the flavor of the people. So that's why we had the boom of the sambuca in Thailand. They lose a lot of anise. Or in the Philippines, we had a lot of limoncello because they're doing the pork with lemon, right?
Yeah.
So the almonds used for the amaretto in Hong Kong. So all this type of pairing, understanding the local food was good for selling our liqueurs.
And the styles as well. Like when I'm creating drinks, you know, every city or every country that I go to, I try and look what they're doing. So, you know, if we were to go to, let's say, take Japan for example, you know, obviously they're big into their whiskies, but you know, the highball is the king. You know what I mean? Like the Mizawari and stuff like that. You're like, what's a Mizawari? Oh, it's just, you know, it's whiskey and then water. But you know, they take so much time and care over doing it.
It tastes so much better.
It tastes so much better. But you know, like their palate, you know, when you combine that to, like, let's say sushi, you know, it's all about that subtlety of flavor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the drinks that I'd be creating for that market would be with that ethos in mind.
Yeah.
It would, you know, it would probably be using sort of like one of the liqueurs as a base, but what we want to do is kind of stretch it out and achieve all those different subtleties of flavor, because that's what their palate likes.
Yeah.
You know, you go to somewhere else like Greece, which is, you know, like certain parts, or Odessa, where I was like last month, you know, it's pure like beach party. You know what I mean? So they want like
Kansas?
No,
Odessa,
Ukraine. In Ukraine.
Oh.
So you know they
also a
want
Bee
sort of
Gees
like
album.
your big like like, you know, they want zombies, they want tiki, they want, you know, sort of like just classic party drinks.
Sounds like a
you know?
great place.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Well, there was 1,200 bartenders at the event.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bartenders.
Yeah, it was like
all
a
Ukrainians.
mini day festival. It was brilliant.
What's the drink scene like there?
It's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's very mixed, but where I was, it was it's a beach party town, so it's a very sort of like high volume, but more so it's very disco drinks. People want like.
I've never been to a Ukrainian disco beach party.
It's
No,
good fun. You should check
It
it
sounds
out.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You have to go alone, no
have to go-
wife, no kids.
Oh,
So
no bueno.
I never been. So
Happy wife, happy life.
of course, happy
Yeah.
family.
So are people getting liqueurs? Like what is, it's a weird category because we're very close to it, so we know, but you go back 20 years and liqueurs weren't the category they are today. Do people
No,
get
but
it?
no, because they were all people go towards the liqueurs and it's too much sugar.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous. It's bad for my health. But they don't understand that they have more sugar in Coca-Cola and rum than
apple juice.
apple
Like
juice-
apple
apple
juice has
juice,
like
orange
you
juice.
believe
It's
the amount of
so much
sugar.
sugar inside.
Yeah, and the thing is, with regards to sugar, by the time, like, let's say we're making an aviation, you know what I mean? You've got your double shot of gin, then you've got like, your lemon juice, you've got like 15 mils of maraschino, maybe you're gonna add like a dash of violette to it as well.
Yeah.
By the time you've shaken it, you've only got 2 liqueurs in there in very minimal amounts.
Yeah.
By the time you've shaken it, you've got extra dilution.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take that and you take a vodka and apple juice. Like, you know what I mean? Vodka apple juice has got 10 times more sugar. Not 10 times, but like it's got a
Well-
lot more sugar. And so.
It's a hardcore drink, vodka and apple juice.
Well, I don't know. Like a spirit mixer.
Yeah.
It's like
But there's something that we are trying to teach to people is that the cocktails, they don't have to be made only with a whiskey base or a rum base,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
with a vodka based or gin based.
Yeah.
You can use liqueurs as a base, as a main ingredient. You
Yeah.
can use liqueurs,
Yeah.
and liqueurs have so many things to say. It's the flavors and so on. That's people, but
for
people
me-
don't understand. So
Yeah, I think for me, like as an extension to that, one of my pet hates is the word modifier.
Interesting.
Like so many people are like, oh yeah, but it's a modifier this, modifier that, and like, shut up already, man. Like, no, seriously, it's like, how can you, like, okay, let's say you're making a cocktail.
Yeah.
We as bartenders have this culture or this preconceived idea that we're going to have a base and it has to be a spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we're going to use like our liqueurs as a modifier. The liqueurs has the most amount of flavor in there.
Yeah.
And there's so many different flavors that like the possibilities are endless for liqueurs.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for people to think in this way.
Yeah.
But they still do. And for me, I think people are coming around to using liqueurs as a base. It's a slow journey, but I think they're slowly getting there.
And luckily for us, they're looking for high quality natural ingredients.
Yeah.
With a history, and Luxardo has all of this. All our products are made with the real ingredients,
Yeah.
real fruit, real stuff, real sugar. Not so it's we're going there. It's a slow path,
Yeah.
slow way, but it's.
To me, the
But it's getting
sleeper
there.
is Sanguine Morlocco. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for people to get it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But I think it's one of those things. I think flavors go through periods of, oh, that's amazing, and then sort of like they decline, and then more people find them and go, oh, that's amazing again. It's not like seasonality, but it's very
But people
similar.
love the maraschino, and I don't think they make the
Yeah.
connection
No,
that they're
no.
basically sister products.
Yeah. But for me, the thing that I think is most interesting about the Sanguine Morlocco is the way in which it's made. So for me, it kind of ticks all those bartender boxes. Like if you're making a fruit-forward liqueur, there are several ways you can do it. You could do cold compounding. You could, do maceration. Like there's a load of different ways. We don't do any of that. We get a load of cherry juice. We do an all-natural fermentation.
Squeeze the cherries.
Yeah, so we're creating a cherry wine.
Yeah.
Then we're fortifying it, and then we're resting it in oak. You know what I mean? This is like
It's awesome.
It's a
Oh, it's-
fortified cherry wine.
it's a fortified cherry wine. It's almost exactly the same process as making a port.
Yeah.
The only difference is, with a port, obviously you're using grapes. Ports also stop their fermentation at 7%, but for a different reason.
Yeah.
Obviously they're going to want to to have their product naturally sweet because as a port you can't add extra sugar. But we're like, hey, we're making a liqueur.
Yeah.
So they're the only differences. Cherries and the fact that we're adding sugar afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just crazy because they love the maraschino and they love the cherries. And
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
same way
that's-
Morocco is the link between the two.
They don't understand.
Yeah.
That's the main problem. They don't,
Yeah.
don't understand the product. Once you make them to try the product, say, oh yes, I want the one bottle. Then they will buy the bottle, but they leave it there in the back bar.
Yeah.
So it's.
So how do you guys use it?
I use it in, like, you know, the one thing that I do a lot in training sessions is, you know, obviously when you taste it, you're like, mate, I know how to make an awesome cherry cocktail with that. But what a lot of people don't think about is, you know, because of the way in which it's produced, it is essentially a fortified wine. What other fortified wines do you have? Or what's the one that you use the most of? It's going to be vermouth, you know. Obviously it's aromatized as well, and we're not. But hey, let's try a Negroni. Let's take out the vermouth and let's put the Sangue Malaco in instead.
Really?
Yeah, and then what you've got is like a cherry Negroni, and it's delicious. Like it's amazing.
I've never had that
very
before.
very good.
Yeah, you shave some chocolate on the top. You know, cherry and chocolate is amazing. Chocolate and orange is amazing. All three at once, mate, you're insane. It's
That
delicious.
sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, we will have one later on.
Absolutely, we will. Man, so what are you guys looking forward to this week?
Everything.
Everything. I think I will walk around Tails with a backpack with a bottle of the Bitter Bianco with me and
Yeah.
and make
People's
them
champion. Make
Yeah,
dreams come true.
correct.
I'm really interested in seeing the seminar tomorrow.
Yeah.
Charlotte Voice is doing it, and she's like, as a brand ambassador, like she's English, she's a hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Picking it up the home.
Yeah. She's amazing.
So yeah, she followed me on Instagram the other day. I was like, what? Like, yeah, nice.
Because you're working for Luxardo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Not because
She
it's
really-
you.
Yeah, I know.
And we got a short film coming out in the spring.
Looking forward.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a little peek today. I don't know. We're at the national sales meeting of Anchor, by the way. We should
I
probably
know.
tell everyone out there. We are at Tales of the Cocktail in New Orleans at the Intercontinental Hotel. A little bit of a crazy setup, but Tales is starting. You've kicked us off today.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And,
we're looking forward for our presentation.
Yeah.
That will be fun.
It'll be really fun.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
good. We are working well together because I will do the history, he will do the production and the way of using the products.
Game
Yeah.
on.
So that's good.
Gentlemen, I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Until the next time and the movie comes out.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward
Party
for that.
on.